hello. Y'all got to say something off the mics. Come on, come off the mics.
Good afternoon. Good
Hey, good
afternoon. Good
afternoon, good
afternoon.
afternoon, Linda. Good afternoon, Charlene. Come off the mic. Say something. Tell the people over here. Hello. What's going on?
I thought I did. I thought I did.
Charlene ain't saying nothing yet. What's going on, Charlene? Put your mic on, girl.
She's
What in
there.
the world?
I'm not talking today. Can you see my face? I shouldn't even
What's
be on.
going on? Something bit you? You had a bad allergy to something you ate?
No, God forbid any of that happened. No, I had to go to the dentist. So, yeah, that part.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I understand that.
Understandable.
I just
Well,
wish they give us gas. They don't give us gas anymore. But
they
my
just inject you with this Novocaine
numbing
kind of thing.
stuff, and then
Yeah, that's the worst.
and you're
I
like, when does it
know.
go away? And then I can't even drive because I'm like, I tried to drive on my own. It's like, it's only been 2 days, and I'm like,
2 days.
2 days? And you've
It
been like
still
this
hasn't
2
worn
days?
off yet.
they inject
Oh,
me because every time I would feel some air, like, whoa. I was like, honey, you're gonna have to kill that or I'm gonna be jumping. I was like pulling. They're like, Shirley, you can't do that. I said, I told you I feel air. So anyway.
oh yeah, they should have knocked you out, girl, to give you
I
that
feel
because you were like a
everything.
kid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm like a kid. I will kick your butt. Like the dentist know that. She should have gave me some gas, knocked me out. But she's good. She's good with that needle. So I let her do what she do. But this is the results of needles. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Well, you really
Well,
can't tell. You look great.
we're here. We looking good, girl. I promise you, you still looking good. So no worries on that. But anyway, it's a great God day. I'm Wyoming,
I'm Peg.
I'm Linda.
I'm Charlene.
and we are
Four
Four
Sisters
Sisters
Live.
Live.
Live. It's a great day, a wonderful day, girls. I tell you, what's going on? We just be moving and grooving, and Peg, I feel like we're on skates, we're on roller coaster, we're on bicycles, we're on
And the weeks are
motorcycles,
going by far too
and it's
fast.
What
going
happened to
fast.
May? May is gone. I
I'm
mean,
telling
Gone.
you, it's a
Gone.
lot
gone.
going. It's a
Gone.
lot. We have just breezed by May, and we're going into June. So, speaking of the May month is going on in May. This is the Memorial Day weekend
Mm-hmm.
where people go. This is our first like the real holiday for everything to open up, like
The
the
beginning of the
pools and the
summer.
parks and the barbecues and the family get-togethers. And what y'all gonna do this weekend? Anybody cooking so I can come over?
Mm-mm. I'm waiting to hear that too, so I can go.
I
Oh,
ain't
I
gonna even
have a
ask y'all.
lot of cookouts for you. I have a lot. I have peoples. I have. We're celebrating. If anybody know Mr. Pastor Rucker? They're having a fish fry over there. But tomorrow, a free cookout is going to happen at People's Community Church in Silver Spring. You know,
Oh,
that's our favorite girl,
oh yeah,
Jermaine, and Sharon's pastor. So
yeah.
you guys are invited.
Jermaine.
Oh yeah,
That's
okay.
Jermaine's church.
Yeah,
So
that's a
stop
nice.
by there
Yeah.
on tomorrow. So I'm going to hang out with those young ladies, and I'll just stop in for just a minute and come back. Of course, you know, Ron will drive me, but we are looking forward. That's a cookout. And then
Yeah.
up at the park, there's a cookout in Elkridge in the mountains, but I ain't going there either.
Well,
But
well,
sorry,
it's going to be traffic wherever you go, so just be
I
prepared.
know, and that is
Just
true. People in
yeah.
town touring, visiting all of the different museums and things like that. So it's a beautiful day,
People
and I
are
pray that
here.
it doesn't rain. Yeah, people are here. So this is the weekend, the Memorial Weekend, like we said, where we salute and honor um, all of those
Our
veterans who
veterans.
served
Yeah.
us, yes, who served us for our country, and remember them on this weekend and on this day. So yeah, that's anyone has a relative that served or has served, we
Yeah,
salute you today on
my
that. We
dad,
just definitely
my
do our
uncle.
salute.
Yeah,
Your dad,
absolutely.
yeah,
yeah.
definitely means a lot. And this is when
Mm-hmm.
we gather and get together and have happy times and memorable times because we remember. It's a memorial for us to remember. Yes,
Mhm.
happy Memorial Day.
Yes.
So yes, what's happening in your world, girls? Because several things has happened this past couple of days. We lost one of the greatest
Mm.
icons in history of
Simply
music.
the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
tell you, it say what's love got to do with it? Love got to do with everything.
Whole
And you
lot.
know what, Peggy?
Everything.
Love's got to do with
That's
everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
It's all
this
about
woman just exuded so much. Said, there she is. Woo!
Woo!
What's love got to do? Got to do with it. What's love? What a happy thing.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes.
What's love got to do? Got to do with it. Yes. Heart can be broken. Yes, Tina.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm
When
so
I tell
happy
you-
we got a chance to see her play. Oh my good. I got a
Yes,
chance to see it.
absolutely.
It was awesome. And
Oh,
you know,
Beautiful.
when I was a little girl, I actually went to see her. I was a
Aw.
teenager. I got to go to the Howard Theater to see her and her husband.
Oh, she.
At the
Oh,
I used to
You
go to
know.
Cards Beach. You know Cards Beach?
I used to go
down
there
there and
too.
see
Me
Ike
too.
and Tina.
Yes.
And I think we only paid like $1.50.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Oh,
What
don't
can
you
you
go
get
bragging
dollars?
about those prices back then. Don't go bragging.
We can go all the way back when it was
All the way back. I'm promising
Yes.
it was so much. We might do that one day to see how much bread costs or how much milk costs.
Yeah.
How much,
Oh, you can Google
lot of
that
things.
right now.
because
We have to have Dante Google for us.
yeah, we gotta
Well,
go.
why,
there.
let me interrupt. Why looks awfully gorgeous today? What's
I
the
know
deal?
what's going
What-
on.
Are you
Yeah.
serious? Well,
No,
bless
we're
y'all
very
heart-
serious.
well,
You,
bless
well,
y'all
you did
hearts
a
and-
360.
Yes, and that nice her pink lipstick today.
Really? Well, bless
You
y'all
look
hearts
beautiful.
and all y'all parts, because I thank you. I appreciate. I receive. I thank you for that. But Peggy, I want to thank you
What?
for doing a great job.
What?
You don't know what you're doing to bring people together.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
Girl,
What?
I just admire you for just having the this whole what God has given you. God has given you something, and I think you're yet to really let us know in this community and across really the country of what you're doing. You really, I don't think you
Oh, wow.
really realize that, Peggy.
No.
Your strength, your influence. You are an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You really are.
Right.
Peggy, Charlene, can you speak to that? I mean, she really is. I wanted to say that to you because I watch and see what you're doing, and you really are. And
Oh,
and when we say
wow.
we get it, we need to get it because God has given you something so we can get it. Because you want so much for your people.
I do. I do. And you know what's beautiful is to have you three with me on this journey. It's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just get up in the morning and I'm thinking about everybody else. I'm taking the focus off of me. Okay. And I think if most of us would do the
And that's
same.
probably why it
Yeah.
exists the way it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that
There's so many of us
trickles
would do that.
down. Yeah, that trickles down for what Peggy do. I know it naturally. Most of us are like that. That's within Peggy's tight circle. We want for
Yeah.
others more than we want for ourselves, and I think that's the strongest connection. But to speak to what you just said, well, I mean, yes, she is a strong influencer, impactful, a silent impactor, and that's even more important. That's like, Nelson Mandela didn't have to say much after he did what he did and done what he done, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He could just still walk in a room, and in that very presence, you knew that others would follow because he had already done the work. And I believe Peggy is at that season where she's already done the work, and now she's seen the fruit. She's being able to walk in those rooms, to pick up that telephone, make those calls, make those connections, and make it work for any one of us, and saying, listen, I really got you. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be an actor, whatever, like we got this. But it's bigger than that. How can we use you to impact the world? And that's what Peggy says. I got you. If you really want that and you sincerely want to help people, I'll work with you. If you just out here scamming and ramming and thinking it's about you, then no, step away. And
You said it so well, Charlene. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
so you're you're the real MVP. Oh,
that's so nice.
Isn't that nice? Well, speaking of Peggy, this is Peggy's day. This is her segment of
Gets a
what
clap.
she has
She gets
brought
it
us an
all.
awesome guest for our entrepreneurship show today. And this
Yeah.
is what we do every week. We're talking about different things that you, Peggy, have so wonderfully put together for us to talk about. This platform dealing with domestic violence and health and wellness, education, mentoring, and entrepreneurship, which is something that we all have within us. Every piece of this, we've
Yes.
either doing it, done it, experienced it, or going through it at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so this is the topics I think is very important, and it's here to stay. We're going to be here, but whether or not, whatever, these subject matters are going to be here.
Yeah.
Domestic violence is going to be around, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
health and wellness is so important. Education is important. Entrepreneurship, these are topics that helps us to live our lives.
Yeah.
It's just a full circle. It's a full circle of life. And so we're covering that, and by having wonderful guests to come on to share this.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean about your influence, and you are the MVP because we're here because of you. Really.
I'm
We're
here
here
because
because
of
of
all of you. Trust me.
yes, yes. But you know what? I want to say something, and we talk about education. Did you all hear about what's her name, Amanda Gorman? I think it's so sad. Did you hear about the situation in Miami-Dade, Florida, where one parent did not want her book to be presented in the schools, and they're not going. It's taking out.
Oh, you kidding?
Of
Yes,
course it is. That's Florida. That's what they're doing
yes.
in Florida. And
Oh,
DeSantis
yeah. Yeah. I did
You
see
know that
that.
speech that she did at the Biden inaugural,
Exactly.
the
so
August
Yeah.
speech
they're
that she
teaching
did.
us to come again.
Oh, the
The
young,
hill we must climb, or
the
something.
poet.
Yes, the poet. Yes,
Yeah.
I think I did hear about that. That is
yes.
the
Yeah.
worst.
It's the
But
worst,
that's in Florida, and that's what they do.
but
And
they're
they're,
doing
and they're
too
supposed
much
to
in
be
Florida.
Christians, but that's not
Thank
Christian.
you, Pet.
No, it's
Thank you,
not.
Charlene.
It's
Yes,
not.
Yeah.
and it's
But
not.
they are not either. They're not.
And I think something should
They
really
don't
be
believe
done
in being
and
kind
continue
to
to get
others.
her. Yes, yes. And I think they have this excuse. Yes, the hill we climb.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes. Go ahead,
yes,
Charlene.
yes,
I know it just
Charlene.
happened to
That
be sitting on my little desk here.
really, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that yes, that. But here we go again. We know what it's all about. We shouldn't even have to go through a whole lot of extra for
Mm-mm.
this. I love it, Charlene. I love it. Love
Yes.
it.
Beautiful, Charlene.
This is what I'm talking about because we know how strong that is, and she
That.
is younger, how much she's being influenced. They don't want their children influenced.
Well, you know what? That's going to make people go and get and figure out why.
That's right.
It reminds them to go and get the
True.
book. It reminds me to go and get the book. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Go and
That's
get the
true.
book,
You're right,
everybody.
certainly.
See what they're
Let's go
trying
get
to
the book.
hide from you now. Go ahead. Hide. Get the book. Go to support your library, support your bookstores, and especially
Go get this book and start a book club to my wife.
yes, start a book club just to read this book. Let's
Y'all
put it
read
out
this
there.
book across the world. We're gonna read it, and we're gonna do it all through Florida.
Yeah, all over the United States, and everyone who's listening.
A campaign should be started.
Go and get the
Yeah.
book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's
That's
funny
it
that you
too.
mentioned that because I just had a conversation with Joyce, who is one of our project managers, and she has already suggested us to do a book club within the in
Oh,
our
that's
network.
nice.
So, Charlene, that could be the first book that we bring to the table.
Yeah, I want
Let's
to
do that. No, let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Yeah. So in other exciting news, you are talking about going back, way back. What y'all think about Donnie Simpson bringing back Video Soul?
I heard.
Well, I've
Oh
been
my
missing everything
goodness.
this week. I didn't hear that either.
Well,
Yes.
Tyler Perry buys BET,
Mhm.
and him and Donnie Simpson can work together. I think they need to bring the whole 90, 80, 90 vibe back 100%.
Who was this, Charlene? Who did
You said Donnie Simpson is
Yeah,
bringing
yeah.
Video
Right,
Soul,
right. You just mentioned someone else's
but
name.
Tyler Perry, remember?
Oh, gotcha.
by
Okay.
BET.
Yes.
So imagine BET and Donnie Simpson being hired by Tyler Perry to do Video Soul there.
Yeah.
And we just bring that back. Like that
Yes.
was more of real. I felt good as a teenager then, like see my blackness. to ride to DC, and my family said, you can come and stay with us so I can go in, the studios. Like, that was huge. Bring that
Huge.
vibe back
I
again.
really, really hope. I know it's coming back. It's just when, and then when they're going to launch that again. But it's going to be exciting.
Is this going to be a movie or this is going to be an actual show?
No, it's going to
A
be what
movie,
he used to
Linda?
do. It's going to be what he used to do. He was
Yeah.
hosting. He was a host. He hosted. That was his.
I remember video, so I
Yes.
didn't watch it a whole
Yes,
lot, but
yes,
I remember.
yes. Now they're probably going to, infuse some different approach to it.
Yeah, a little flavor to it.
Little different flavor to it. But the title alone is going to be, awesome.
And people get to hear real music if they're going to go way back. But are they going to bring our music and our young people's music together?
Well, see, Donnie is but he can go either way he wants to go.
I know.
Yeah.
Either way,
They
whichever
would trust
way.
him.
He's going to bring it, and I know it's going to be awesome. So can't wait for that one as well. So what's going on in y'all world, girls? I know y'all been doing some stuff. What's going on? I know Peggy said, she in meeting, just meetings. Just say meetings. I'm in meetings. What have you been doing, Peggy?
Meeting with the Bi-County Business Roundtable, planning out for the rest of the year. Partnership.
Mm-hmm.
We really just got over the Black Wall Street. We did the performance of Lion King. We did the Phenomenal Woman with Luther Live. And we did Tots for Teens. So we've been busy. This is just a moment that I can sit still for only a moment. Okay?
So did you go see Smokey Robinson last weekend?
Okay.
Do tell.
No,
really?
I'm not talking to her. I'm mad.
But look, the week before, I had the opportunity to see Babyface and Anita Baker.
Right.
I got a call, said, look, I know you love Smokey. You want to go? And thank God it was a day that I had a moment that I could go. And I tell you that Smokey, let me tell you something. My brother went down. He was talking to the audience and he went down like this. And he stayed down for about 10 minutes.
No
way. That brother came right back up. like to say, look, I might be 82, 83, but I got you. He was amazing.
He's still fit.
Amazing.
That body.
Yes,
I'm glad that. So he had a mixture of all ages as well. And
the place was packed. It was packed. And he sung songs from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. And he's got this new, what you call LP or new music out. And so he's really promoting Gazism. Okay.
Yes.
Gazism music, right?
Like, what is that?
No,
you know what he said? You know what he said? He said, whatever you want it to be.
Oh.
Whatever you want it to be is Gazism. Okay.
No,
and I get it.
Oh, poor Smokey.
Jazzism?
Yeah.
Gazism.
No, Gazism. No, it ain't got nothing to do with music.
And I had the pleasure of meeting him back. I know it's been at least 10 years ago. My sister used to work for Channel 2 in Baltimore, and he was performing at this casino in Delaware. And so we got the chance to go to see the show and went behind in the back not studio, but into his dressing room. And he is one of the sweetest gentlemen you would love to meet. He is so down. And guess what, Linda? He was at PNC at the Powell Networking Conference for a couple of years.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he showed up.
It would show up. Okay.
Yeah, that was good. I know he didn't sing. He just came to participate in.
He came in and talked about the music industry.
Yes.
So that was one of the topics that for that particular year that brought a lot of young people in. And
I'm
Smokey
sure
was there, and he laid down the story.
So, Linda, what's going on in your world, girl?
Well, I've been having a very interesting, wonderful week with my sister.
Okay,
and taking care and watching over her and make sure everything is going right with my sister, which is all we have to do.
There
I
you
love
I
go.
applaud you too, Linda, because
I,
you're a caregiver. She
I love
really looks
her, and I'm
after
going to take
her
care of her. So
people.
that's been the joy of my
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Oh, Linda, beautiful. Oh, you know, Connie got
Good
married over the
girl. You're
weekend.
such a
Connie got
beautiful
married?
person.
My
Really?
sister,
Oh
my
yeah,
baby
tell us
sister.
about that. Oh my
Oh,
God.
Oh,
congratulations,
That
Connie.
reception.
and we celebrated Mommy's 90th
Mama's
birthday.
birthday,
That's right.
yes,
Mommy's
happy
90th
birthday. Yeah,
birthday.
we're gonna get
Oh,
to the
oh,
birthdays moment, but yeah, we gotta get to the
she's going to
birthdays.
get her
But
big toot.
yeah, she's gonna get her birthday treat as well.
For Mommy
Wonderful.
Bell.
And Connie is engaged. Did you just say?
Oh, well, no, they got married last week,
Oh, they
last
got
Friday
married. Oh,
at the courthouse.
Y'all had a lot going on last
And
week.
then they had the reception and Mommy's celebration together.
Okay,
So
wonderful.
that
that's
it was
gonna be
wonderful.
remembered forever and ever. That is nice.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, it
That's
was
wonderful.
awesome. It was really, really beautiful. And then the weather was great too. It was
It
Yeah.
was beautiful weather.
perfect.
Yes.
So, Charlene, what's going on in your world, girl? Besides
Just
the doctor,
keeping
dentist.
well,
Besides healthcare.
that's right. Take care of your teeth and take care of your
Mom
body.
care.
Right.
Both of those are in good check right
We'll
now.
just say floss those you want to keep.
Yeah, and the ones that you don't, please use a water pick. Okay.
Okay, right. Use a water pick.
Use a water pick. But no, yeah. So everything is good. We are just working on business and setting up the businesses correctly. I will, shout out Truist Bank. Truist Bank is for the women. I walked in.
Really?
Oh my God, I'm so proud of them. Walked in there, it was all women ran, president, vice president, bank manager, and everything. And I think they were trying to throw the whole bank at me. I was like, hold up, wait a minute.
Wow.
Let me tell some people about this. Like Truist, it used to be BB&T's, but BB&T and SunTrust
Merge. Yeah.
merged.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say
But
that.
they have
Yeah.
money. They have money. So I may just do my own YouTube to help you follow you on that journey. But just get your house in order, your business house in order.
Mhm.
There are women out there that's fighting for us, ladies, to get this money to keep your brick and mortar or your online business or your nonprofit. Keep it rolling, keep it funded, because it's almost like water. We can't live with it. We can't live without it. Funding is important, but in order for you to have that, you must have a structure set up so the water can
Yes.
flow, right? So the money can flow. So as long as you're showing them income, expenses, revenue, honey, you got a plan.
Well,
So
Charlene, I'm so glad
Good.
you brought that up because I
Mhm.
think maybe we might have to have a conversation with them. One of the missions and goals of the Entrepreneurship Committee is that we want to set up an incubator. We had one prior to the pandemic, and then they shut us down. Okay, so now I want to go back and readdress that and look at setting up an incubator. I know Montgomery County, not Montgomery County, what Howard County has
we
a
have one here.
has one there, and we need one here in Prince George's County. So I'm working on that.
I think it's great. We definitely have to talk about the one
Oh,
in
that's
which
nice. That's
SBA.
gonna be really nice.
Yeah, just partner. They need partnerships out here with these banks. So definitely
Right.
Sisters for Sisters Network to for you to look for it for Sisters for Sisters Network to be a part of us, because it is
Yes,
here in 2023. So definitely y'all look forward to that.
let's make it happen.
Awesome. Awesome. That's good. So that's all good stuff that's happening. And we got some well, let's just show some birthdays. What's happening with birthdays? Celebration of birthdays.
Oh yeah, we have some
Who's celebrating
birthdays.
a birthday? When we know mommy just celebrated her birthday, celebrated her
Yes,
birthday, 91.
I
And
was looking
anybody in
for our
the
flyer.
All right.
oh, we
Here we
got some of
go.
the sisters.
There they
There
are.
we
Here
go.
we,
They're
here
still
we go.
celebrating.
May
Yeah,
birthdays. Yes.
I saw not
they're
Charlene.
celebrating.
I
Happy
was saying
birthday to
Charlene,
you.
but Gina Duncan was big time on Facebook celebrating her birthday. Charlene, I
Oh,
understand
she's
you,
been
girl.
showing off lately.
That's where she was over the weekend,
I
celebrating with
went
Gina.
over to Gina house. We had the most amazing time. They would have tried to keep me all night, but I wasn't doing that no more. I like my time, and I'm in the bed by 11, really 9, but I sent it to 11. But we had the most incredible birthday party for Gina Duncan. I mean,
Aw.
she's an incredible person to celebrate. But the food was good, the atmosphere was good, and oh my God, it was Sisters for Sister Picture Network.
That's the norm.
She had cameras, backdrops up in there. I'm like, if y'all take another freaking picture, okay, Lord, we just gotta do one more. I'm like, okay. We had the machine that takes us around and around. I'm like, oh my God, you walk in the store, you go downstairs to the basement. It was so fun. It was so fun. And the food was delicious. And shout out to Florence, you know, Champagne. She's always making sure that she's a part of that
Yes,
thing, right?
yes.
But, you know, definitely we have a most amazing organization, Sister Sisters Network, and to celebrate one of our sisters. It was a total. Yeah.
Well, happy birthday to all of our dear sisters and all those who are celebrating a birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday and many, 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 many more.
Happy birthday, Linda, Sylvia, Mel, Gina, Claudia, Lynette, and especially my mom.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. So look, anything happening in the community? What's happening? Oh, I know what's happening. We just started back up. Greece with the side of mumbo sauce is coming back. There it is. DC Black Broadway. Greece with the side of mumbo sauce stage play September. So we've already started go ahead and purchase your tickets because they're already ready for you to go get them. Yep.
At
so
the
there
Lincoln
you have it.
Theater. All right.
LincolnCC.com. Yep. So we have a wonderful guest today, Peggy. I don't know, but are we blanking out? Am I blanking? I mean, it's something.
Yeah, we're blanking out.
Yeah,
no technical problem.
Okay. We have a little technical thing. Okay. I just want to make sure that it's just not me. So, Peggy, you have a wonderful guest. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Who's coming? You know, I love connecting with people and with my partnership with so many people. Darius Stanton had, and you guys know Darius. He's been on our show as well. Made a connection with a young lady by the name of Lisa Leonard. Leonard.
Right.
And she is the executive director of Competitive Edge, EQ. Mm-hmm. And we had a chance to speak with her and just impressed on all that she's doing, because what she is about to share with us, it really talks about what we've been talking here: education, health, entrepreneurship. All of this blends into the conversation that we're going to have with Lisa. So can we bring her in? Can we bring Lisa in?
Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I am fantastic. I am excited to be here. Thank you for creating the space for me to be here. I'm stoked. I'm ready to go. Thank you for
That's what I'm talking about.
We are happy to have you.
Yes.
I think, Lisa, you could start out by introducing yourself to our people and our audience, and let them know so we can be able to, let folks know what you're about. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yes, as Peg said, my name is Lisa Leonard. You guys just put a twist on it, and I love the Leonard. It sounds great. It has a roll off your tongue that's really nice. So I am the executive director for Competitive Edge EQ. We are a local nonprofit that supports student athletes in the DMV area. We plant our feet in the emotional intelligence space. primarily because we believe that when student athletes have a sense of their emotions, they're able to navigate the world a little bit differently. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. But before we go into our conversation, I want to couch our conversation in making a quick distinction. And that is that emotional intelligence or emotional wellness is a component of mental health, our mental wellness.
Yes.
It is not mental health or mental wellness deals more with the cognitive space. We deal more with the emotional space, helping young people to navigate that space in a way that's beneficial to them. So I just want to make a quick distinction, not to get too deep in the weeds in the distinction, but in that emotional wellness is a component of mental wellness. When you're emotionally well, emotionally sound, when you have EQ skills, you're able to navigate the mental space better.
Okay,
Okay.
wonderful.
Wow. Could you tell us, elaborate a little bit more about EQ, emotional intelligence?
Sure. So, and I'll again couch it in the work that we do with student athletes. It's important for student athletes to have a sense of fluency, agency, expression, resilience, agility of their emotions. And so and safety, right? And so when we think about the experience of a student athlete, in particular, they have a slightly different experience than those non-athletes. And so one of the reasons why we focus specifically in that area is because of their unique experience. So when I think about agency, building student athletes agency, we're talking about what they have agency over in terms of what they can't control. In the athletic space, there are things that you can control, but then there are things that are out of your control. So being able to build their capacity and their skill set to have agency over the things that they can control, like the amount of practice that you endure, or you pursue, the amount of time you decide to shoot your shots or throw the football, or focusing on your strength and agility, or focusing on your skill set. Those are things that's within the confines of what you have agency over. You can put in the time, the effort, and so forth. You also have agency over the amount of time you decide to study and how you perform academically. Well, if you put enough time in your studying, then you can perform at a higher level. You have agency over that. Some things that you don't have agency over is, playing time. You don't have agency over that.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you deal with that emotion that arises when you think you should be on the floor, but you're on the bench? You think you should be on the field, but you're on the sideline. How do you deal with that emotion? Because that in itself comes from several different spaces. It could be the pressure of your parent, the pressure of your peers, and so forth. One thing that we focus specifically on in terms of emotion is that you do have agency in terms of how you feel and how you manage the emotion. So of course, the anger may rise up that I'm not playing. Well, I think I'm good enough. And why isn't my coach playing me? And I'm going to have to hear my parents' mouth in the car because I still didn't get enough time. Or when I got in the game, I really didn't do what I was supposed to do. So I'm going to have to hear their mouth again too, right? Well, you do have, one, we increase their awareness of what I'm feeling right in this moment. And now how do I process it? You don't have agency over your parents. Your parents are going to be your parents. That's the bottom line, right? But you do have agency over how I manage this feeling of disappointment, this feeling of anger, this feeling of frustration. How do I manage it in a way that I get the best result for myself.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about agency and EQ, that's one space we focus specifically on. The other thing is that, and this kind of connects with parents, do I have the safety to communicate my feelings? Right? I'm from old school, so my parents did allow me some agency, just a little bit of agency, but that we couldn't talk back, we couldn't express ourselves in a way that the way that was in our head, and so we had to find a creative way to express ourselves. So that's the other place we want to create the safety net with parents and student athletes, so that they feel safe enough to say, this is disturbing me, this is concerning me. Hey, Mom, I really want to unpack this with you. Of course, a child probably wouldn't use the term unpack, but I really want to discuss this with you.
Yes.
So that's what we talk. That's one important area, and why we kind of include the entire family to some extent in our experience. So
Yeah.
it's really, EQ is really learning how to manage your emotions in a way that works to your benefit. That's at the lower level, 7th through 12th grade is who we work with. So that's at the lower level. And then as they continue to build their emotional capacity, their EQ, then they show up differently even in the world as they traverse from middle school to high school, on to college, on to careers. So that's it in the short and skinny.
So speaking of the young people, and you just expressed definitely how important of these areas are. Can you tell us again the importance of helping the young people understand how to communicate their true feelings? I think you were getting into that, but they have true feelings. They do have
Yes.
feelings, but we have to know how to handle that. How do you handle that?
So one of the reasons I think it's important to teach young people, student athletes, I'm going to say young people, but that's to include every single child, the student athletes that we work with, but surely every child could benefit from EQ training. When we think about being able to communicate our feelings, then we want to build their capacity to be able to articulate what it is they're feeling. They need that safe space that I was talking about. But one of the things that I found, and this is why I plant my feet also in this space, is that our young people lack the emotional vocabulary.
Yeah.
That part is really, really important. Having the vocabulary to communicate how I'm feeling is equally as important as having agency. So there's one thing to have agency, but the other part that needs to be in line with having agency or the ability to advocate for yourself is also having the vocabulary to be able to describe what it is you're feeling. That's extremely important, and that links to their ability to communicate at a high level. So that's one part we do focus on in our ACL program. We focus on communication. The ACL stands for Adaptability, Communication, and Leadership Development. And so in that communication phase, they do work on public speaking, all of those types of things. But it is rooted, our programming is rooted in the emotional intelligence space, so that they are able to communicate or show up in a room where they know absolutely no one, but they're able to show up with such a boldness and empowered to take up the space in a way that works to their benefit.
So
Awesome.
you do this work, and apparently you do it for schools and teams and parents, but you have an organization that's actually helping thousands of kids, or I know you plan to help thousands of kids with this. So how do parents get in contact with you, and can any kid participate? How do they contact you, and what are the premises in which they should be saying, okay, I need this kind of help?
Yeah, sure.
help me.
So we have two prongs, so to speak, community-based as well as school-based. We are currently, and so I will put this plug out there, we are currently looking for a school home. So our first EQ school we are looking for. And what does that mean for the school? It means that we come in and work specifically with their athletic population or their sports population. For the purpose of, it's a great benefit to the school. It helps to create and shape the culture of the school and so forth. So that's one arm that we work with. Those kids that I said I would stop using kids, those young people that are in the school, they benefit from our ACL program from 9th through 12th. And then we want to watch them from freshman through senior year in college. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing the fundraiser that we'll talk about. The other component is our community-based component. And so we work with AAU programs, football programs, volleyball programs. We did a full retreat, weekend retreat with a basketball program in which we did a full wraparound service. We worked with the student athletes around developing their emotional intelligence, but then we brought the coaches in because I think it's critical for coaches to understand how emotional intelligence, they deal with the emotion every day, but understand it at a deeper level, what it means for them as coaches to be transformational rather than transactional. That's a whole nother show, but we work with the coaches and then we work with the parents. And so the community aspect is one that I really enjoy, in that it's easy for me to structure programming that incorporates the entire family. The truth is, you cannot do emotional intelligence work or EQ building without also impacting the entire nucleus of the family.
Yeah, I feel, what you said is so strong, because they look at their coaches, and coaches are all about winning. And, sometimes I believe that emotionally they don't understand what's going on in that student's or that young adult's head. He wants to win too, but he's always questioning, or she's always questioning themselves. So I think it's so important to understand that the coaches understand, because it takes the weight off of the student to be so perfect. You just we want to win a game, but we want to win it safely, we want to win it honestly, and we want to look good by doing it.
But Linda, I will also add to that, because there's a lot of stakes in winning, right?
Yeah.
So we focus solely on the win.
Right.
A large portion of us focus solely on the win, but there are incredible lessons in the loss, right?
Yes, that's so true.
Am I improving my skill set, right? But you kind of spoke to the idea of transactional versus transformational coaches. And when you are a transformational coach, you make the space, you create the space to take care of the whole child. You're curious about their emotional well-being, how they're processing. You're curious about their learning, right? So why is learning important in the coach's space? Because coaches every single day in practice are yelling or repeating the same thing. Johnny, go do this. Johnny, I told you to do this. Johnny, take a lap. And Johnny comes back and does the exact same thing all over again, right? But why is Johnny doing the exact same thing all over again? This is a part of our programming. So I'm going to say two things. One, for Johnny, we create the opportunity for them to understand, or him to, in this instance, to understand his learning style. So when you understand a child's learning style, then you have a different approach as a coach. You have a different approach as a parent, because now I understand that my child is tactile. right?
Mhm.
That's how they learn. So
Mhm.
instead of yelling at Johnny, now
Right.
you're helping him to get involved in the process, to touch, feel, and do,
Right.
so that he learns. Johnny is not doing what you want him to do just because he just want to be defiant. He is equally as frustrated. So now he has to deal with that emotion.
He doesn't know why. Right.
And he doesn't know why
Right.
he's feeling that way. But when we talk about that transformational coaching and the responsibility of the parent, then I need to know as a parent how
Mhm.
my child learns,
Mm-hmm.
right? I need to know and a coach needs to know if they're interested, if they're interested in transforming, they need to know how every kid or every young person on their team learns.
Mhm.
That alleviates the frustration from the athlete. It alleviates the frustration from the coach. And
Mhm.
now there is this perfect dance that's happening on
Mhm.
the floor because I know how to connect with Johnny. I know what Johnny needs from me as much as Johnny knows what I need from him.
Mhm.
And we have to think about the partnership in that kind of way. So
Mhm.
transformational coaching is incredibly important.
That's important. Yes.
Wow,
Thank
this is
you.
interesting. Peggy, what you gonna say?
Yeah, Lisa, take a moment and share the importance of teaching our young people how to advocate for themselves.
Oh my goodness. So as a former educator, one of the things that was important to me was to ensure that young people are operating from a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean disrupting a classroom setting. I don't mean um, um, trying to assert their what they perceive as authority to adults in the space. So when I use the term power, that's not what I mean. Because if you're emotionally well, if you have the skill set to communicate what you're feeling, then you show up from another disposition, right? So your perceptual stance is very different. And I don't want to get too caught in the weeds about what that is. But when young people are able to function from a space of power, that means they understand their learning style, then I can have a different conversation and relationship with my teacher. So even if a teacher is doing a lesson and you don't get it, little Johnny, stand with Johnny, because it's literally say, listen again, Miss Lisa, I appreciate how you communicated the lesson on molecules, but I'm a tactile learner. Can we do something else to help me to understand this concept a little differently? As an instructor, I may pull out some marshmallows and some toothpicks, and now we're in a lesson around, molecules or whatever. So it allows young people to take up the education or academic space very differently, so that they're active participants in their education. They're not passive. Most times young people are having a passive experience. And so we've had this push in education to do group work and so forth, small grouping, pair sharing, and all of these things. But again, young people have to know how they learn, and so that they can advocate for themselves. That also is in line with the communication piece. Young people don't want to go and have conversations because they don't know how to communicate. But when they learn how to communicate, then they're able to build relationships in the academic space with their teachers, administrators, and so forth in a very different way. And the last thing I'm going to say about that specifically in terms of power and student athletes, when you know how you learn, when you know how to communicate, when you know how you're feeling through the process, when you get to that point, if you're lucky enough to get to that point of the recruiting process, whether it's football, basketball, soccer, cheering, whatever it is, then you show up even in front of the coaches who are recruiting you differently. Because now I know what I want. I don't just want to be a basketball player. I want to be a doctor. And that allows a different kind of conversation for yourself as well as for the person who or the school that's recruiting you. If they don't have the things that you're pursuing, then that again changes the conversation. So I'm gonna stop right there because this is
But
my passion.
this is, yeah, we could tell you're very passionate about it. We have about 2 minutes with you
Sure,
left, but can you
sure.
talk about the STEM program, how the students and athletes should know about the STEM and what that is?
So sure, that wraps up into, all the work that we do on the front end. We believe that student athletes, if they are exposed to STEM careers, then they have, and we chose STEM because we're slightly, as a community, we're slightly behind in this space. So we chose STEM specifically because we want student athletes to know, listen, everybody is not going to be a professional.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. But that does not mean that you cannot be around the sport. So every career that's outside of sport is also inside of sport. And so STEM is that space. STEM or sports related STEM careers is what we create space to expose our young people to, so that they can think about beyond the sport. Once they've let it go, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And that's the question that they should lead with when we talk about developing their plan B. Yes, I am an athlete, but I'm a student first. And there's life after sport. What do I want to do with the rest of my life is the leading question.
I have one last one for you. I know that you're planning to transform 1,000 kids' life, but you can't do that alone.
Sure.
And you're having a major event that we need to definitely share out there. That's going to be happening on June the 10th.
Yes.
And it's going to be casino style. So I'm really super excited about that, guys. Gatsby, I call her Gatsby. Also, sorry, but tell them about that. Her goal.
I think you have a flyer on that, Charlene. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, there we go. So
Sure.
Competitive Edge, and I want her to talk about that because we're going to raise $50,000 because her goal is to transfer 1,000 kids' lives into helping them to understand who they are and how to communicate, be self-aware of who they are and how to communicate what they need from their coaches to their parents and to the parents also. So yes, over to you.
So Monte Carlo night is our second annual Monte Carlo night. It is the biggest fundraiser that we do through the course of the year. And so it's going to be phenomenal. Marcus Johnson is leading that evening, but just like you see, that is an actual picture from last Monte Carlo. It's literally set up like the MGM. It's a fun night. So if you are into, I need to qualify this when we talk about casino or gambling. It is fun money. It is not gambling in the Woodmore. So everyone gets fun money just to have a good time, dance a bit, listen to Marcus Johnson. If cigars are your thing, shameless plug, the Tinderbox of Waldorf was one that sponsored our cigar lounge. And so if that's the thing that you're into, then the cigar lounge will be available to you. Of course, craps, blackjack, roulette, if you're interested in those. Marcus is bringing on his Flow Wine. So if you've never experienced Flow Wine, this is the night that you need to experience the Flow Wine. It tastes incredible. And so it's going to be a fun night. We partnered with Hogo, that's Heels Off Gloves, on another youth organization that focused specifically on raising funds for our youth boxers in the area. So it's going to be just an amazing time. We need you there. The promo code, of course, is Fast Break Friday, but it's still live. And so definitely you could literally go to our website that is CompEdEQ, CompEDEQ.org. Click on events, Click on the link to purchase your ticket. Make sure you use Fast Break Friday for a nice little discount, and we'll see you there. If you are a former athlete, you have an athlete, you're the parent of an athlete, you're suffering from those aches and pains from being a athlete at our age, whatever whatever tickles your fancy, we need you in the place. We cannot do this work without the support of the community. And so we have to do something other than cheering in the stands.
Yeah.
We have to kind of get on the ground and create opportunity for our young people. And you can do that by attending Monte Carlo Night 2023.
So you have a direct phone number. Did you care to put that out?
Sure. I am totally open. So certainly anyone who is interested in programming, absolutely, you can reach me at 301-807-4729. And again, that's 301-807-4729. You also can reach me. My email is very simple, lisa.leonard@compedeq.org. So comp, C-O-M-P, edeq.org. And I'm fully accessible for programming, tickets, partnerships. We cannot do this work alone, so we can't be afraid to create partnerships in our community for the heavy lift. It's too much at stake. Our kids need us.
Yes.
Well, we thank you so
Wow,
much
Lisa.
for expressing all of this wonderful information that is so needed. I don't think people get this every day, of course, but it is really needed.
And we have to support our students.
And we need to support our students. This is the year of our students graduating. We want to salute all of those graduates of 2023 anyway. A lot of them have worked hard. A lot of the parents have worked hard. And we are the community that should continue to support our young people for whatever they want to do in life. And this is one of the things we know a lot of the kids, I want to be a basketball player. I want to be a football player. You know, they want to be in sports, but it's a lot to it.
Yes.
And I think you're educating us on that.
We have to teach them also to have a plan B.
And they also talk about plan. We're going to bring you back again to talk about
she's got to come back.
Because it's so much.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you creating this space.
Yes. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Have a great one. We'll see you again soon.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is awesome.
Yeah. It's so needed. This is so
really
needed.
Ooh.
Students. So,
And talking about our young people.
Yeah.
Because they need to know these things, because all they know is I want to play sports.
I want to win. I want the money.
Well, that's what they really want.
That's what they really want. Right.
That's what all of their parents and family want them to, but we've seen so much happen.
Right. And they have to understand that they also are working for somebody else too. So
Yes,
that's
exactly.
They have a plan to work for themselves. That's the most important thing our students need to know. It's not about them. It's about you, and you have to have a plan for yourself because they already have the plan.
Yeah. You know what was so powerful, what Lisa said was that we have to get away from the fear of partnership.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants to hold on to their piece.
Trust.
Right? And don't want to partner. And that's where we fail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can't do it by yourself.
When the greatest partnership is, and I work with the United Way, they understood that when it came to raising funds for one simple cause, homeless, domestic violence. And they're like, and we'll distribute those funds, but they knew there was more in the masses. And they had a greater list of philanthropists than you and I, the individual, but if you brought you and I, the universities and other people into this whole philanthropist, way of thinking, then that creates a partnership to distribute the funds out every single year. So think of partnership like you would think of United Way every year. Same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, speaking of domestic violence, next week is our domestic violence segment. We're going to have our guest, Cynthia Hale, is coming to us. She got so much to share. She got a lot to bring. Talk about change.org. There's a lot of things that they're doing that they're going to need our help with. And also talk about the military. We're going to talk about what is really going on. Just to share so much is happening in the military. To enlighten us on that. So we look for you all to come back next week to be a part of our conversation on that part of domestic violence and all that we need to know. But yes, Cynthia Hale is going to be our guest on next week.
I'd
So,
like,
ladies,
I'd like to encourage everyone who
and it's
watches.
her birthday too. Today is her birthday. So
Whose
we got to say
birthday?
happy birthday.
Really?
Cynthia, her birthday. Yeah, it's her
Oh,
birthday.
yeah, happy birthday,
Yeah.
And
Cynthia.
Diane
Yeah.
mentioned Diane Smith, who is one of our board members, made note that she's celebrating her birthday today.
Oh,
This
happy
year.
Happy
birthday, Diane.
Happy birthday, Diane.
Yeah. So
Yes.
our subject next week is going to be manipulation in relationships. The manipulation
Mm.
in a relationship.
And
So
please, everybody, send this to a student. Most
Yes.
important, send this to as many students as you can think of, whether they're
yes,
going into sports or not, because this is a very important subject. But
Sure is.
especially
Yep.
if you have someone in your home, or you know of a young adult or a student who has their mind on being the next star, they need this
absolutely.
emotional training. So please send this out to your social media, to every student, and send it to
Absolutely.
their parents, because their
That's
parents
right.
understand. So
Right.
just send it out.
So what
To
what
the whole
time is today's
family.
agenda? Send it to the whole
Right,
family.
send it to the whole
Absolutely,
family.
absolutely. So next month we'll be celebrating. This month is over. Next month will be June, which is going to be our Black Music Month. We're going to be celebrating all month of June. So we're going to be
And
talking about
Father's
all of
Day.
our
Don't forget about
and
my
Father's Day is coming.
Father's
Yeah, we
Day
got
is
so
coming
much to
too.
pack in June. But in the meantime, what time is it?
It is
It's
time
time for
for
you
you
to
to
walk
walk in your
in your
purpose
purpose and
and
prosperity.
prosperity.
prosperity. Thanks for
Woo.
joining us. See you next week. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.